Waltzing through the pumpkin patch filled with love and all of that, looking for one to carve up. And the homely ones, they need love, for which they seldom receive. We stay up just before dawn, eating candy corn on the lawn, but the corn ain't as sweet as you. Lollipops and licorice too, no it ain't dear.
Today on QSJ Radio's Mad Law, Dinging Up the Underground, we welcome a new voice on the scene, Applejack, who just released their first single, Candy Corn. The song surfaced this month on streaming platforms, and the artist has been teasing live debut performances on social media. We stumbled upon the track while we were searching for seasonal singles, and we were struck by its mix of homespun imagery and modern production. So we asked Applejack to stop by and talk about beginnings, inspirations, and what we've got planned next. Applejacks, welcome to QSJ Radio.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Listen, a lot of people who know me are probably going to think that I'm making fun of this situation, but I am totally not. Candy corn is a thing. Everybody, there's a certain time period to have it. There's a certain time period to let it go. And, I want people to understand that that's probably a reason why you released a song like this. But before we get into the single, tell me about the moment you first decided to make music seriously.
That's a great question. So it really started, when I was really young, like elementary school. I would do like musical theater and things like that. And I started to really gain a love of performing, and just kind of the energy exchange between an audience and a performer is just something that I think is so special. Um, and as I grew up, I started to get into all sorts of kinds of music. And kind of the first artist that I felt like really spoke to me was Lady Gaga. And I loved her songwriting. And I just thought she was such a cool person, so authentically herself. And so I would, learn to play piano and guitar and sing her songs and all that. Um, and then like my music kind of expanded from there. And then I got more into rock music and jazz. And then I went to see Willie Nelson one day, and then my whole life changed and I started writing country songs. So I just have a love for music and all kinds of music. And it just feels so right to do it. I probably wrote my first song when I was in, I think, middle school. I think it was called The Garden or something. I don't know. It was not great.
You just stay into the farm life. Oh my God. But what's crazy is if people don't know, and they probably already do, but for those who don't know, the pop star Lady Gaga turned actress, was a philanthropist. I never could say the word, but she basically gives back now to a lot. Is a folk singer from New York. That is literally her origins, which is really crazy. So Candy Corn right now is billed as your first single. The story behind the song, where did the idea come from, and how long did it take to write and record?
So for me, it's just like, I love candy corn. So I was like, I just think that would be such a cute name for a song. And so I just was like, let me see what I can come up with. And the little banjo lick I did, I came up with that. And then just kind of the lyrics started coming, and it just kind of became this fall love song. And that's pretty much the story with it. It took me about a day to write it. And it just kind of turned into what
it is.
What it is. Yeah, it just kind of happened.
I feel like you were performing this song before you recorded it. Like it was out for a while, or was it one day you were like...
This is actually the only song that I've recorded before or
Wow.
performed. Yeah,
Wow.
everything else I've written and performed, but I've not recorded.
Oh my
So yeah,
God.
this one was very unique in kind of my musical career, I guess.
Well, shout out to that. So it's mid-season. I would say mid-season. It's high peak
Mhm.
Halloween, Hallows, Day
Absolutely.
of the Dead, whatever it is that you guys are celebrating around the world. Candy corn has been around what hundreds of years, and
Hmm.
we know the different flavors and all that stuff. This though, this song, as I'm repeatedly listening to it, it's a day of remembering family, and it's also of a confession of a love that you have for either someone, a partner, or something like that,
Hmm.
and also that it's I wanted to talk about the album art. What I'm gonna post the album art here in a
Yeah.
second, but the album art for some reason takes a little bit of a turn there too, because it's two jacks holding hands with a heart that symbolizes the connection. You know,
Mhm.
um, did you draw that, by the way?
No, that was done by their Instagram is Bad Cat Art.
Bad cat art. Okay.
Yeah, I love their art, and so I kind of asked them to do something with, two jack-o'-lantern people and love and in the fall and things like that. Um, and that's kind of what she ended up coming up with. And I just absolutely loved it. I really did.
Bro, it is so like it feels like everybody knows that when you're a kid you draw and it's like
Hmm.
there's no shadows. It's like relax. It's not that serious. I'm gonna post this right here so everybody can see it. But it also symbolizes something else, right? Because I noticed on your Instagram, you were like your neighborhood yeehaw something like as a
Oh yeah, neighborhood yeehaw homo.
yeah. I was like, bro, that's the whole T-shirt right there
Yeah.
representing yourself, and I was like, oh my god, that was so dope. Is that also was represented here in the art?
Yes, yeah, it's definitely a queer love story. It's very much inspired by my boyfriend and I. We both love Halloween and fall, and so I definitely was inspired in that. But that's a lot of my music is a lot of queer themes, and one of my songs, it's more of a classic country, 3/4 time song. It's called "Here, Queer and Full of Beer,"
Ooh,
and it's kind of about being,
you need to
you
get to
know,
the studio,
uh,
bro.
yeah, all of the country songs are really about like beer and drinking and things like that. So like, well, how do I make a classic country song about, being unapologetically yourself no matter what anybody says about you? And so I kind of wrote that one about that.
Now, I want to take a quick break real quick, give a little
Yeah.
bit more of the song, and I want to talk about this journey that you've already had, because even though this is a first single, this is not your first time in the music scene. So I wanna make sure that people understand that part about you. Again, this is Candy Corn by Applejack. Now there's no S in that, right? There's Applejack.
Applejack.
Just one
Yeah.
Applejack. And we're gonna
Yep.
talk about the inspiration of that name too.
Cool.
Big shout out to
Sounds
everybody
good.
listening.
which they
That's switched to
seldom see.
Well, buddy man.
We stay up just before dawn, eating candy corn on the lawn, but the corn ain't as sweet as you. Lollipops and licorice too. No, it ain't, dear.
Now I'm big in folk, and people won't believe it, right? Because there's perception of what a folk guy,
Hmm.
girl, people look like. But you're a queer, right? And that's already tough going into that demographic of a genre. But
Hmm.
I'm sure you found your people, right? And
Yeah.
it definitely shout out to that because it probably took a little bit of a hustle and bustle to figure
Mhm.
that out, right? Um,
Mm.
I have found out that you are not from Nashville, right?
No.
I found
Yeah.
out that if we were kids growing up, we would hate each other automatically because I'm from the Bronx and you
Oh,
would have been
yeah.
from the Boston. Like,
Yes.
bro,
Yeah.
how was this journey from Boston to Nashville? How did that look and how did that come about?
So I grew up in a small town called Easton, Massachusetts. It's about 45 minutes south of Boston, and I went to high school there. And um, I definitely was a bit of an outcast there, and not a lot of gay people, not a lot of people who were kind of into the things that I was into. So um, it wasn't, terrible, but it's like I gotta get out of here. So I ended up going to school at Berklee College of Music in
Ooh,
Boston,
nice.
and that's how I kind of got into the city. And then I was there for about a year and a half, and then I just kind of found it that school just wasn't for me, and I was just kind of ready to write songs and be an artist, and so I had dropped out of school and stayed in Boston for a bit, and then some of my friends were moving down here to Nashville, and I really started writing so much country music that I was like, I feel like that would just be the place for me. And it honestly didn't, I didn't even really think about it that much. Like I was just
Wow.
kind of like, all right, well, I guess I'll do it. And I packed my car up and drove down there, and um,
Without hesitation? No.
yeah, really, it was just kind of like, oh, this is just it just kind of felt, those moments in your life when you're just kind of like, usually for me, everything is overthinking, but in
Yeah.
this case, it was just like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's nothing. Like, yeah. Like, like I'm a home. So suburb life, city life, country
Mhm.
life. You literally are the queerest, most adaptable American ever. We'll say that, right? But
Yeah,
I want people to understand because when you're in your small town or,
mhm,
what seems like a small town, and then you go into the big city where you probably could find a few people, but then you got to go. It didn't work here, it didn't work there, and you're
mhm.
finding yourself like I'm in Boston's a tough town. I'm not it's not even a game, guys. Like you heard about Philly and all this other stuff when it comes to like sports and things like that. Boston's tough. Boston has a deep rooted history of being uh, second to New York, but whatever. Growing up in your or what was your earliest music memory? Like a family ritual, maybe like a radio station, a hometown show that stuck with you.
That's a great question. Earliest musical memory.
While I eat some candy corn for breakfast.
That's a really great question. I'm trying to think. I feel like I think the first moment I was like really getting into music was I was watching the Disney Channel and Selena Gomez in the scene. The song naturally came on.
Whoa.
Initially, I thought I had a crush on Selena Gomez, but that turned out to not be the case. But I
You
just
had a
love the
crush. It's
song.
okay. You don't have to like go full. Like she's mad pretty. What the hell?
She is, yeah. Um, but then I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I saw the CD at Target, and I was like, oh, I want to get a CD and a CD player. And I remember that, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, music is super cool. So I feel like that was the first moment I was really like, oh, this could be something that I want to do.
That is so dope. I'm not even gonna try to ask the age, but it sounds a little bit young, but it's okay. It's
Yeah.
you are a songwriter first, as you keep mentioning, and shout out to that because it is kind of hard to put a bunch of things together and for people to process other than you because the
Yeah.
songwriting is not for you to have in the box, it's for you to present to others. Walk us
Mhm.
through that songwriting process. Do you start with lyrics, a melody, phrase?
It really depends on the song. Some songs it's like I'm playing guitar or banjo and I have a chord progression going and then I just start singing and then the song kind of writes itself almost. In other instances, like Candy Corn and Here Queer Full of Beer, it's like I come up with a title I really like, and then I kind of form the song around what that would look like. So it really depends on just kind of like what the day is like and what song it is and what I have already of it. And yeah, it really just depends.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is like the third, fourth, fifth time you're mentioning that single. We need that single.
I know.
It
I got to get that one
I feel
recorded.
like you know what it's gonna do, like because you already seen it performed live and the
Yeah,
reactions for that.
that's my closer. I always close with
Oh
that
my
one
God,
when I play.
we gotta get it. We gotta get it. If you need help, let us
Thank
know.
you.
I'm not even playing. On Candy Corn, um, we hear strums of a kind of like a twang. It's not a lot of extra reverb going on in there.
Mhm.
Um, I know because I've never grabbed the guitar, never grabbed the ukulele, but I've seen a lot of people utilize these instruments. The four right chords, shout out to that, but playing those, getting really fast, people don't understand those notes are not right next to each other. They're
Mhm.
literally all over the place. How did you arrive at that at this kind of like choice that it was intended to pair that sound with the song's theme?
I really wanted it to kind of sound like almost like a jig, like a folk jig. Like I wanted to have a very upbeat, very light, very fun, very raw sound of like you're by the campfire and you're telling stories. Like that's kind of the vibe I wanted. And so I was just kind of fooling around on the banjo and then I came up with that um, opening lick or riff or whatever you'd call it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's exactly kind of the sound I wanted. Um, and then I added some auto harp on there and some guitar, and then I was like, you know what? That's it. I just want that's all I want on there. Very, very just
I know we're
stripped
at
back.
the start of a recording kind of deal going on. Is this home studio? Did you have to go to somewhere else? What are some things that are you using now that you got good with? Because it all sounds really great. It sounds
Thank
really
you.
really good quality. All that. Some people like when they release songs, you got distortion. It's not supposed to be there. It's not mixed and
Yeah,
mastered.
clip in or whatever.
Was it? Did school help with that at least?
So I actually can't take any credit for the production because that was all done by my friend Lily Patterson. And I met her while I was at Berkeley, and she moved down here kind of around the same time I did. And she has her own little home studio. So I
Nice.
went in there and I did my thing, and she did her thing, and we kind of discussed what we wanted and how we wanted it to sound very stripped back, very raw, not a ton of reverb, not a ton of effects or anything like that. And yeah, she
Shout
did
out
a
to
wonderful
Lily.
job.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, going in. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna give a little bit more of an escort of the song here, and then we'll get into a few more questions.
Cool.
Here's Candy Corn again by Applejack. So you can find us on all major
They look for
platforms.
leaves, but they'll meet again. You see, like us, their love is true. Forever, like me and you, they'll grow again. Yellow, red, and brown. Let's make piles and roll around. Otherwise, what are they for? Beautiful autumnal decor that may be.
This being your debut single, how are you thinking about building momentum? Like radio playlists, local shows, merch, collaborations. I mean, I know we're at the start of something, and
Mhm.
have you thought about that?
I've given a little bit of thought to that. I've got one more song recorded, um, and it's called Cowboy, Cowgirl, Cowperson. And that's kind of another song about kind of gender identity and kind
Yeah.
of being at peace with whatever you find yourself to be. And that's another very classic country song, more of an upbeat song. So I got that one recorded and I'm hoping to put that in the next few months. But yeah, I would love to get some t-shirts that say here, queer and full of beer. I think that would be an epic shirt. Um, and as far as kind of all the internet stuff and promotional and social media stuff, like that stuff is not my wheelhouse.
Oh,
So
neither is it me. Neither. Oh my. Because I was like, I'm trying to like, and I'm sure you're probably doing the same. Stop to doom scroll because you
oh
you you end up in like communities that are like, you know, I'm watching a video and then as soon I go to the left upper corner and I'm looking at the views, I'm looking at the comments, and
hmm
I'm like, how did this do that? Right? Like,
hmm
and it just gets discouraging, especially someone who's trying to be
hmm
that, right?
yeah.
And I don't know what to do. I think I need to probably freaking I don't know what to do. But you're right. It's not a strong suit. It's something that
hmm
you got to do every day. People say you got to really basically have a separate life for that. But you're on QSJ radio, and if you look at the damn history of what we've been doing for years, you did that without really promotion. You did
Yeah,
it because the
that's
song was
true. Yeah.
fire. So one of the things
Thank
that I
you.
want you to understand is that you just got to put out good music. You got to
hmm
that's your wholesome. Fuck all that skit
Yeah.
crap. That stuff will come, and it'll come natural, whatever it is. I've been on the camera before a very long time. Shout out to the sunsets, spotlights. You know how it is. I saw you ready for Halloween. Did you just come from a Halloween
I did do a
party?
Halloween party. Yes.
Yeah, nice, nice. Those are really crazy and off the hook. So shout out to that.
Yeah.
Um, we're running a little bit low on time, but I know and I can't wait for the new singles, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
have you back
Absolutely.
on
Yeah.
and things like that. Um, there's a lot of things going on in the world today. We are from the States. You are in a land full of bipolar. There is polarism where you're at.
hmm Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
So I want you to like be safe and things like that. But for your message through your music and in your community, are there things that you're keeping your mind state so you're not caught up on the BS that's going up and at our leadership corner?
Yeah. So I always say lead with love, bring people in, don't cast people out. So not that it is everybody's responsibility to have these hard conversations with people who disagree, but I think the minute that, you know, we're at each other's throats and all that, that's kind of when it becomes scary. We need to have more conversations. Um, just be kind to everybody. Hold the door open for people, say hello, smile, be helpful. If an old woman needs help crossing the street, even if she's got that hat on, you know,
Yeah.
I always just want to lead with love and um, they can't divide us forever. I think that the more we come together on certain things, I think the better life will be.
Bro, it's so crazy. And what's nuts is as you're, explaining it, the way that we're identifying somebody's whole persona is by a piece of clothing.
hmm
That is not the America I thought we was at.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
hmm
From the stereotypes to this to that is just getting nuts. I grew up at a time where I think the only thing that kind of like reminded us that this stuff is still going on is when Rodney King got his ass beat. Like,
mm
that's the only time it's like, yo, just a reminder, we got problems, right?
Yeah.
And that was like a while ago. And but then, you know, it's just crazy. You're a young artist, you're going in, you are not afraid of showing your community out, which is really dope. Keep that strength. And I got something because I know that you probably wish that you released things earlier.
I did, yeah.
For young artists listening who are thinking about releasing their first single, what single blunt piece of advice do you wish someone had told you before you started?
Just do it. I like truly like there were so many mental blocks I had. Well, what if someone says this about it? Or what if this isn't good enough? Or what if this? Don't overthink it. Just do it. Like, you know, don't care about what other people are going to think. Like that was really what kept me from doing it.
Wow.
Was like, I was like, oh, but you know, this isn't perfect. So I'm not going to put it out, or this isn't perfect. So I'm not going to, you know, so it's just like, do it. You know, we all have to start somewhere, and it's nothing's ever going to be perfect. So that's my biggest advice is do it.
We got a first time chatter in here.
Oh, cool.
Let me see. AGRAADRRDAN. I'm gonna try to say it. Argraden? Argraden? I don't know. Yes, we need more Applejack music.
Sweet.
They're coming, bro. They're here for you. Let's get out there. You know. Excuse me. Your personal story. Put it on wax. You know, I talked to you behind the scenes about a few things that could help or whatever. But you just got to do this, man. It is amazing. And a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh man, because the candy corn came up." I'm like, listen, I'm from New York City. I listen to folk. I know what it feels when somebody has studied the history of it. They don't want to demolish it because of their own personal stories. You know, we still love the music regardless of our background. And not only that, it's candy corn season, people. Okay? They're not even on the shelves anymore. They're gone. You know?
It's crazy.
And shout out to all the candy corn haters out there. Like, it's a candy. It's a time frame that you can't get back, especially if you've been here, Northern Hemisphere. Candy corn is a time to understand that sooner or later, there will be no family left. You got to hold on to those memories. You got to hold on to that partner. You got to, some people might not think this is sweet, but it is. It's yummy. The song is deep. It's definitely on the playlist. That was Applejack. Debut single, Candy Corn, just hit streaming services. It's been up there for at least 11 days. He joins us. If you like what you heard today, follow Applejack on their socials. Check out the single on streaming platforms. Tune in back in for another live interview. It's going to be really, really crazy. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to everybody listening. Tune in to QSJ Radio. Let me put Applejack song back on, and then we'll come back. Where did he go?
Waltzing through the pumpkin patch filled with love and all of that, looking for one to carve up. And the homely ones, they need love, for which they seldom receive. We stay up just before dawn, eating candy corn on the lawn, but the corn ain't as sweet as you. Lollipops and